What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video I'm just going to be talking about something about my team, and before I actually get into it, I just want to say I literally know nothing about my team. Obviously I got to play the prelude early, and I'm actually recording this, well, the audio, while I'm in New York. It will be up when I'm back in Ireland, but I won't be at home, so I'm going to actually record this a few days earlier. But again, I'm still in the hotel room, so sorry about the air conditioning if there is a little bit of background noise. But I just kind of need to address that I actually know very little about my team, and I don't actually know anything about my team that hasn't already been announced. I don't know anything about player overalls, I don't know anything about pack odds, so before you guys start saying things like that, I literally do not know anything. This is all just speculation, but at the same time, things like this are the same every single year. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 5 cards that you definitely should not buy at the start of NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. Being completely honest, do not buy these cards. And the reason why I'm releasing this before the game starts is because a lot of the time these are mistakes people make on day one. I will do another video probably 2 days before the release, maybe the day, actually no, 2 days before, because the game releases a day before in Australia. So 2 days before official release, I will do a full guide on what not to do day one. But it's just going to be a general thing on 5 players to just not pick up in NBA 2K19 MyTEAM, especially at the very start. So we've seen some of the player overalls, but there's going to be kind of logic behind why you shouldn't pick up certain players. So first of all, I'm going to say a guy who he was literally the star of this. He was number 1 on my list last year on players not to pick up, and I was right about it because he was about 7k MT, and he was really just kind of an average last year. And this player is Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball does not have the hype coming into the NBA as he did last year. He genuinely didn't have the hype, or sorry, he genuinely doesn't have the hype right now as he had last year. He was so hyped last year, and for that reason he was so expensive. And this is just kind of just logic about any players. If there's a really hyped player in real life that isn't great in game, there is no point picking him up early in the game. And definitely number 1 for something like that was Lonzo Ball last year, and I still think he might be number 1 this year. While if he is cheap, definitely might be okay, but I don't think his 3-point rating is going to be as high as it was last year. It started off in 83 ball, which is actually really good. So he was a really good shooter to start off the game. He's 80 at the time, was really good. Oh, sorry, he was 79. But this year he won't be able to shoot as well. He won't really be able to do much better than he did last year. And I think he's just going to be a worse card in general, and probably start off at a very similar price, just because everyone has that 50k to MT to start off my team. Next, we have got a guy whose base card hasn't been good since NBA 2K16, and his base card in 2K16 wasn't even that good, to be honest. I didn't like it that much at all, and it's LeBron James. So LeBron James, unless they give him a 3-ball and make him ultra athletic, which I don't think they're going to make him either of those. I don't think he's going to be an incredible dunker on his initial card. I don't think he's going to have a great 3-ball. I think he's going to have really good playmaking stats, decent-ish defending stats, and I think he's going to have he's going to be a really good all-around player. But in 2K MyTEAM, especially early in the game, jack-of-all-trades cards are absolutely useless. When the jack-of-all-trades cards can do everything, like even with the rubies, like Ruby Kuzma, Ruby Boris Diaw, cards like that, when them type of cards can do everything, fair enough, use them. But jack-of-all-trades cards at the start of the year are just not useful at all. You need specialist cards, and unfortunately in the actual game, LeBron isn't a specialist card in any way. He's a card that can do absolutely everything, and for that reason, early in the game, I just don't see him being anything special. And then if you did order the 20th anniversary edition, which a lot of guys who play my team did, and if you're a big my team player and you're looking to play from the start, you probably should get that edition. And to be honest, if you do play my team a lot, you probably end up spending more than the extra $40 later in the year, and it's probably worth it to just get a bit of a head start 4 days early. And if you sell the cards in those 4 days, because everyone has 50k MT, you'll get the most for them. But yeah, so you do get a LeBron James with that anyway, so you do get Sapphire LeBron, which I can't see actually being that much worse than the Amethyst, and you'll also potentially get a Sapphire Giannis Antetokounmpo as well, which would be really nice. So yeah, Sapphire LeBron and Giannis should be able to hold you through. So a LeBron James Amethyst card is not the most desirable card day one. Well, it is one of the most desirable cards, not one of the best cards to pick up. Another card is actually a guy who is potentially the single best current player in the game, and it's Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis is more than likely going to be a ruby or a high sapphire. I've been looking at his overall. I think he's like an 88 overall in regular teams. He's either going to be a high sapphire or a ruby card. So if suddenly we see an 87 overall, for example, Kristaps Porzingis, or an 86 overall Porzingis, he's probably going to be the most sought after player in the game. For that reason, day one, when everyone has that 50k MT, Porzingis is going to be the one card everyone goes for. However, if you wait a week, if you wait 1 to 2 weeks, when everyone starts actually getting the game and the 50k MT that everyone gets initially kind of is all spent, if you wait 1 to 2 weeks, you 100% will be able to get Porzingis for a much lower price, and all these current cards after a week or two will drop significantly. Porzingis might be the most because he'll be one of the most sought after players. Anthony Davis is another one, but I don't know. I think Porzingis might actually end up being higher priced than Anthony Davis, and he might just I have no idea why. I have a weird feeling with pack odds they're gonna do what they did a couple of or last year and give out, say, a load of diamonds, a load of rubies, and in the middle tiers where they give out less and less of them packed. So that's why there was a lot of like really rare like ruby or amethyst cards and collections last year. But yeah, so Porzingis is the third player that I think. Anthony Davis could go in here as well, but I think Porzingis, I don't know why, I have a feeling he's going to be more expensive day one anyway, because day one is really the die-hard players where they just want the best teams possible. So number 4 and number 5 are basically two just general groups of players, and I don't think you should pick up either of these guys, either of these groups. And number 4 is high-rated players with bad releases. So there's a lot of really high-rated players, but their releases are just terrible in 2K. Like, absolutely terrible. Like, Chris Paul is one of them. A lot of people like Chris Paul, but in my opinion, his release is one of the worst in the game. He's really long, and because how small he is. If it's a diamond Chris Paul with Limitless, fair enough. Like, the start of the year, I think Chris Paul's a really poor card just because of his release more than anything else. And then also cards like Al Horford. Al Horford's release is so bad. A lot of the big men's release are bad. Like Marcus Gasol's is okay. Pau Gasol's is awful. When you're looking for like spread the floor stretch bigs, you gotta look for good releases. You gotta look for the likes of the Miles Turners of the world, the Brook Lopez's who've got cash releases. Especially with big men, you gotta make sure that they have decent releases. And with guards, I don't think there's many guards in the current collections that have broken releases. Patrick Beverley, but he's not really a shooter. But there is cards like later on in the year, like Leandro Barbosa, that'll have really bad releases, and you just never know with their star collections. So I would advise you just before you pick up a card, if you don't know what his release is like, just go into like Play Now or 2KU Freestyle and just try out the release so that you guys can kind of get it down. So well, not that you guys can get it down, so that you guys would know what it's like. But yeah, so high rated cards with bad releases is a big trap for people. A lot of people just look at the overall and they don't look at the releases. And on a kind of a side note, there's the high overall, high intangibles cards as well. So basically, there's a website called 2KMT Central. I will leave a link to that in the description. So I think as soon as the game comes out, within a couple of hours, they will have all the stats of all the players up. So if you guys look at a stat called Intangibles, Intangibles is a stat that all it does is higher and lower players overall and doesn't help in game. So cards with higher Intangibles actually play worse than their overall, and lower Intangibles play better. So I always would advise you guys to check the 2KMT Central stats, check how well rounded the card is, and just check what the card's stats are like before actually purchasing the player. And the easiest way to tell if players can play better overall in general is by looking at the Intangibles. And the last set of players, I do not advise you to complete day one. And if this was a year ago, I'd say complete them all day one because they were cheapest day one. But because everyone has that 50k, do not complete collections. I assume that they're doing the same thing with collections with current and historic collections, where you can get, say, a diamond or a pink diamond player, and maybe an amethyst for completing the current collections. But do not complete collections day one, because everyone has that 50k MT. Normally, I would advise you to complete those collections when everyone has very little MT, because they're the cheapest. But when everyone has that 50k MT, everyone's going to be rushing to complete them collections, especially the good collections. Maybe if there's a collection, like I remember last year, Kerry Kittle's day one, every card was 500 coins. Maybe if there's a collection that nobody's going for and you want that player and all cards are really cheap, go for it. But the good collections, just like hypothetical, if they do have another Dominique Wilkins for the Clippers like they had last year, that card's going to be ridiculously overpriced. So do not go for a card like that. That collection could end up being 70k, whereas around Christmas time that collection will be 10k. And who knows, could be even lower if people are playing game mode opening more packs. So the like sought after collections, day one, do not under any circumstances buy them. If they're all extremely cheap, if you can get one of them for less than 15k, go for it. If you can get one of them for nearly every card being extremely cheap, go for it. But I doubt that's going to be most of the collections. And either way, there is going to be the really sought after collections. They're going to be really expensive, and please do not buy any of them. That's the one bit of advice I'm going to give you. Of all of these, that is the worst investment because you can't even sell them cards back. So anyway, that's the video. In my opinion, these are 5 players, well 3 players and then 2 types of players that you need to just completely just dodge day one in my team. I'm not saying don't buy them at all. I'm just saying don't buy them day one. Like I remember last year when Emerald Lonzo came out, he was 50k for a couple of days. Lonzo was like 10k. So it was like really kind of weird like that. But day one, because especially of the fact that people are getting that 50k MT, these specific cards I think are going to be really inflated in price, and I really don't want people wasting their money on these things. Again, like people are like, why am I making this video long before? If I make this video after the game comes out, a lot of people will have already made mistakes or not see the video. So I'm going to make this as early as possible so that people can kind of prepare and plan for how to start NBA 2K19 MyTEAM. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.